And after the war is over, you rebuilt Germany and you rebuilt Japan, and the black man is here in America, not living in a decent house, without a job, his children destroyed. Figure it out. You gotta be sober to see the tricks that's going down to rob you of your future, black man and woman. We fought in Vietnam and in Korea. Figure it out. What is Martin Luther King's life worth to us? Figure it out. What are our leaders' lives and black organizations destroyed by government policy? Figure it out. And when you lay down what you owe us the whole damn country, and we're not asking for that. Figure it out. We're not asking for that. All we're asking is for justice. And that's the time. If you don't give us justice, you may lose it all. So black students, you get busy. And you stop all this partying and foolishness. And you get your act together. As of tonight, you put down that reefer, and you put down that crack, and those pills and that drugs, and get your head screwed on right. You cannot live today with a half-high head. You gotta be sober to see the tricks that's going down to rob you of your future, black man and woman. Clean it up. Don't come to Illinois State trying to make a white university relevant to black people. That's wasting valuable time. Come here and extract the knowledge and then go back and use it to build your community, build your people. Build for yourself. Don't you come out of here looking for a job. Come out with a mind to try and create a job. Do you hear me, brothers and sisters? Stop all this talk about I am an alpha, I am an omega, I am a kappa, I am a sigma, I am a delta, I am an AKA. What is that but more Greek letters? Jesus said, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord. Come together. Stop all this talk. Stop all this talk about I'm a Baptist, I'm a Methodist, I'm an Episcopalian, I'm a Jehovah's Witness, I'm a Church of God in Christ, I'm holiness, I'm Pentecostal. Stop that kind of talk. Jesus never spoke like that. Speak as he spoke. He was baptized, but he wasn't a Baptist. Talk to me. He never said he was a Methodist. He said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. He never said, I'm a Catholic. He said, I am the light of the world, meaning I'm universal. He never said, I'm a Jehovah's Witness, but it's a fact he was the witness of Jehovah. No question about it. He never said, I'm holy. He said, if the first fruit is holy, then the lump is also holy. He never said, I'm Pentecostal, but without Jesus appearing before the disciples, there wouldn't be any day of Pentecost. These are your denominations. These are your divisions. Prophet Muhammad never said he was Sunni. He gave us the Sunnah. He never said he was Shiite. But through his daughter Fatima, he had Hussein and Hassan. Come on. He never said he was Hanafi, Sufi. If the white male is gonna rule, then he must crush the black male.
Yeah.
White male, you are wrong.
Yeah.
Because if in reality, because of white supremacy, you believe that in order for you to survive as a white man, you have to crush a black man's existence, then in crushing our existence, you are doing something to your own. Because ultimately, no power on earth,
No power,
for any long period of time can keep any man from attaining what God himself has willed for that man.
yeah.
Now,
hello guys, welcome once again to the channel. I hope wherever you're watching, you are having a great time. Now, in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, it is time for us to really look through the entire existence in America, especially for black people. Blacks have always been treated in a way that sometimes you think that they are second-hand human beings. Because if you look at the preferential treatment that whites get to receive, you get to ask yourself whether this is the best way human beings can be treated. And that is why people like Charlie Kirk got their fame out of bastardizing black people and those heroes whom blacks think have helped fight and shape their livelihoods as it were today in the United States. In today's video, we're going to focus on this, but we're going to listen to one speaker, Minister Louis Farrakhan. He's always been spot on issues regarding black people. And I think we have to appreciate the fact that he's been calling out the sins that the American government is doing towards black people. He has always said that blacks have shed their blood and sweat for the American government and the Americans' existence. But when you look at how black people are treated, you wonder whether they have any remembrance of the contributions that black people have made to the entire American government. I wanted to take a listen to this clip of Minister Louis Farrakhan speaking and breaking down why black people must rise up and change their mindset and have a positive mindset towards addressing issues relating to blacks. Then we shall come back in the end and share our thoughts. But before we dive in, please, if you're watching us for the first time, kindly consider subscribing to the channel. I promise you great content tailored just for you. So let's dive in, come back and share our thoughts in the end.
that's your stuff. Be what he was. He was a Muslim. He submitted his will to do the will of God. Be what Jesus was. Jesus never said, I'm a Christian. Not one time. He never called his disciples Christians. Did you know that? They were called Christians at Antioch by the enemies of Jesus. Jesus said, not my will, but thy will be done. He submitted his will to do the will of God. Come on. So let us do that. Stop all this division and let's come together as a family and love each other and respect each other and work for the good of each other, uphold each other in right, and above all, respect and protect and honor your women. Respect, protect, and honor your women. And to the white students, if you will sit down with these black students in an honest dialogue, without hypocrisy, maybe tomorrow you might make better sense than tonight. Maybe after hearing what Farrakhan had to say, it didn't necessarily drive you further apart, you already apart. Maybe it gave you something, a basis upon which to start an honest dialogue. And through dialogue, maybe you might learn to respect each other. And as I said on the Donahue show, white students, think about it. You didn't come in a vacuum. You study biology. And you learn Mendel's law. You know that dark skin is dominant and light skin is recessive. No, this ain't no black supremacy. Just that the truth is supreme. You know that dark eyes are dominant and light eyes are recessive. And you teach that you can get the recessive from the dominant. But you can't get the dominant from the recessive. So two white people can only produce white. You can never produce yellow. It's just not in your genetic makeup to do that. It's a biological, mathematical impossibility. But the black man can produce from jet black people an albino with blonde hair and light eyes, showing you that in us is the whole human family of the earth. And from the black man, whom the Honorable Elijah Muhammad called the original people of the earth. That's why you're black. You're not black because you're cursed. You're black because you are the original life in the universe. Yes. Yes. You say, I can't believe it. And I thought I was black and ugly. No, no. You are black and beautiful because you are original. Just be yourself. Don't try to be white people. Be you. Fall in love with you. Jesus said, love your neighbor as who? Yourself. So you can't love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. So fall in love with yourself, then maybe you'll be able to love your neighbor. And since you don't live in nobody else's neighborhood, I guess your neighbor looks just like yourself. And they got a job for you. Wrong thought. Wrong thought. As factories in America close down and move to Mexico and other places where labor is cheap, black folk more and more out of work. If you think that white folk are going to prepare jobs for you, you got another thought coming. You are here at Illinois State to learn that which will allow you to create a job for yourself. And if you don't do that, then your learning has been in vain. Do you hear me? Just like the basketball team, maybe one or two of those black stars will make the NBA. The rest of them, if they don't have anything up here, after they graduate, that's it, brother. You played beautifully when you were here, but when we can't use you no more, that's the end of that. And to the white students, the world is changing so fast. You cannot face the world that is coming in with the mind of white supremacy. That mind will render you incapable of handling what you're about to see. what you are seeing signs of heavily now. You got a few more minutes? Here is a verse of the Quran. This is a very magnificent book that is not on bookshelves in America, but it's powerful. Listen. In a chapter called Al-Asr, meaning the time, Muslims pray 5 times a day. But there is a prayer that we pray that is called Salatul Asr. And the Asr prayer comes when the sun has fallen away from its zenith and is like midpoint between the zenith and its setting. We measure time by the Earth's rotation on its axis and its revolution around the sun. So the Earth could not rotate on her axis without the light of the sun, nor could she revolve around the sun without the light of the sun. So it is our relationship to the sun that gives us our days and our years. So this chapter is called The Time. The Time. And if you don't have your watch, if you know the sun and the relationship of the earth, you can look at the sun and tell the time. You can look at the shadows even and tell the time by the shadow. Listen now. So Allah says in the Quran, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, by the time surely man is in loss, except those who believe and do good and enjoin one another to truth and enjoin on one another patience. It's very pregnant. I'd like to deliver a few babies here. By the time, the word or the preposition by means that the time is the criterion by which actions are judged. Listen. By the time, surely man is in loss. Why is man losing? His actions are not corresponding with the dictates of the time. When you are out of time, have you ever tried to plant out of time? Nothing happens. Have you ever tried to harvest out of time? Nothing happens. When you go to the disco, if the music is beat, what is that? Time. And your dance gotta be what? Right in accord with the time. But if you don't know how to dance, you can't keep that time, and people don't want to dance with you because you're not keeping time. Have you ever been in a band and the drummer who is keeping the time can't keep that time? He speeds it up, then he slows it down. No musician can play with a drummer that doesn't keep time. Everything is done by time. The whole human body is based on rhythm. So when you sing the song, I got rhythm, I got rhythm, what you talking about? You think that means a Negro that got a lot of rhythm. But look, this heart has a rhythm that it has to keep. When it speeds up or slows down, this is a worry for a doctor, the vital sign. Rhythm, pulse, beat, blood pressure, rhythm, timing. Everything is on time. But when you get out of sync, out of time, things don't go well for you. When the body is not working rhythmically right, the organs begin to work at odds, and it creates dis-ease or disease. Time. What time is it? Not by this watch. What time is it? By the universal clock. Each prophet that came into the world marked time. And if you can't read the prophets, you can't read the clock. And if you don't know the time, then you don't know what you should be doing. And if you don't know what to do and you don't know the time, then you're about to lose not only what you have, but you can lose your life because you're not on time. Now this, y'all all right? Please follow me now. The sun, when it reaches its zenith, you watch, the shadow is very short. When the sun rises in the east and strikes an object, the shadow is long in the west. But when that sun reaches the zenith, the shadow has drawn up from the west back to the object. And as the sun starts setting, the shadow starts going back toward the east. A lot of wisdom in that. When that sun is setting, it's like saying that a world's time is coming to an end. And if you notice, when the sun sets, it sets in the west. And if you watch one of these beautiful sunsets, the sky looks like it's on fire. And this is what God threatens the world with at the end. It is total fire. The Western world has exercised power over all the darker people of the earth. You agree? Yes, sir. Yeah. The light shined in the east, and the shadow on the Western powers gave a long shadow in the west, meaning the Western world or white world began an ascendancy to power. But it's Asr now. It's afternoon. The sun is setting on white world supremacy. Listen, just listen. Don't get emotional. Just listen. That kind of apartheid, I'm better because I'm white, that don't work anymore. It's being challenged by the rising sun. Go ahead. The sun rose in the east again. The Japanese, you beat them in war, but now they're beating you in economy, in technology, in mathematics, in banking. Their society is much further advanced than this one. America is being a loser. She's decaying. not because somebody is more powerful on the outside, but there is a rot and a decadence going on inside America that is bringing this nation down. I'm appealing to you, black and white, Jew and Gentile. We all live in America, but America cannot continue to exist as she is. Listen, the sun is now setting on Western world.
What a great sermon by Minister Louis Farrakhan. I think we can't take it from him. He understands the American fabric, and he understands the struggle that the black person has gone through globally and even in America as it were. And such kind of speeches have made a positive impact on the entire black struggle as it were, because they have helped awaken the inner consciousness of black people and allow them realize that they don't deserve what the American government is giving them. Those who have stood up and even formed organizations like the Black Lives Matter have taken a cue from the teachings that Minister Louis Farrakhan has been giving. He has always advocated for black independence and self-reliance among black people. And this is what he's telling blacks, that they must wake up from the slumber and realize that if they don't fight for themselves, nobody will come to rescue them again. Because people like Martin Luther King Jr. were finished and were unalived just in the cause of fighting for the justice that is deserved for black people. And therefore he tells them that if people like Martin Luther King were able to be unalived, who are we to think that we are safe? So, Minister Louis Farrakhan, the leader of Nation of Islam, has long argued that the US government has systematically exploited black Americans through policies and actions rooted in systemic racism. He views the government as perpetuating a legacy of oppression that began with slavery and continues through discriminatory practices. Farrakhan's teachings emphasize that these injustices are deliberate, designed to maintain white supremacy and suppress black self-determination. His perspective draws from historical and contemporary disparities in wealth, education, and justice, which he sees as evidence of a broader conspiracy against black people. One key incident supporting Farrakhan's claim is the Tuskegee syphilis experiment of 1932 to 1972, where the U.S. Public Health Services deliberately withheld treatment from black men with syphilis to study the disease's progression. This unethical experiment, conducted without informed consent, resulted in unnecessary sufferings and deaths, reinforcing a distrust in government institutions among black communities. Farrakhan cites such events as proof of the government's willingness to exploit black bodies for its own purpose, aligning with his narrative of systemic betrayal. Look at such kind of sufferings that blacks have had to go through. Many died just at the behest of a government that was so determined to do experiment with black bodies. And this tells you how low they think of blacks. The war on drugs, particularly in the 1980s and 1990s, further bolstered Farrakhan's assertions. Policies under this initiative disproportionately targeted black communities, leading to mass incarceration despite similar drug use rates among other racial groups. The CIA's alleged role in allowing crack cocaine to flood black neighborhoods, as suggested by investigative reports like Gary Webb's 1996 series, fueled perceptions of a deliberate attack on black communities. Farrakhan has pointed to these disparities as evidence of government-orchestrated economic and social sabotage. Redlining, a government-sanctioned practice from the 1930s to the 1960s, systematically denied black families access to housing and wealth-building opportunities. By marking predominantly black neighborhoods as high risk, federal agencies like the Home Owners Loan Corporation ensured that black Americans were excluded from home ownership benefits afforded to whites. This created generational wealth gap, which exists and persists today, which Farrakhan uses to argue that the government has intentionally kept black people economically disadvantaged. Finally, Farrakhan has referenced the FBI's COINTELPRO program of 1956 to 1971 as a direct attack on black leadership. This covert operation targeted civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and groups like the Black Panthers, using surveillance, infiltration, and disinformation to disrupt their efforts. The program's explicit aim to neutralize black activism, including the assassination of figures like Fred Hampton, supports Farrakhan's claim that the government actively works to suppress black empowerment and maintain control over black communities. So what Minister Louis Farrakhan has taught in the entire video is very true. And blacks must move forward, but with their eyes looking backward at how the government has continued to hold them, has continued to deal with them, and has continued to show them how things are not working when it comes to black people seeking for better opportunities. So I think we have to listen to him in a greater way and understand why he has such kind of thoughts. Because if you don't address the disparity that exists in America right now, especially when it comes to wealth, then it seems you have no understanding of history that blacks have gone through to be where they are today. And therefore, I think black Americans must wake up and understand that they must work hard against all odds to be what they deserve to be. Share your thoughts down in the comment section, and if you're watching us for the first time, please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share. Thank you, and let's meet on the next one.